Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Theresa and I'm the CarbootCrafter, and I'm starting my countdown to Christmas. So I'm going to start off with a cute little tag book, tag album and box for it to go in. So let me tell you what you need. So you'll need 10 pieces of plain card that measure 5 by 3 1/4. Okay, and you'll need 10 of those. You'll also need 10 sheets of 6 by 6 paper. So it's a great way to use up your 6 by 6 if you, like me, can't resist a bargain and buy loads of 6 by 6 Christmas papers. So you'll need 10 sheets of 6 by 6 papers, and you're going to cut those mats at 3 3/4 by 3. I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. You'll also need, for the box, you'll need a piece of card to match your base papers, and that is 8.5 by 5.5. And you'll also need 2 pieces of patterned paper that measure 3/4 inch by 3 inches across. So I'll repeat those and they'll be in the description box below. So I'll do the box last, but we'll do the album first. So first of all, you're going to, let's move that out of the way and we'll cut that in a moment. You're going to take each one of your 5 by 3 1/4 inch pieces, and you're going to pop them in your scoreboard and score them at 1 inch. I can get this off now. There we go. So score every one of them at 1 inch. I've already pre-prepared the others so that you don't want me to see me doing this 10 times. So you'll just score at 1 inch like that, and then fold and burnish at that 1 inch mark. Nice and simple. Now, to get the ticket look, I'm using a little punch. This is an X-cut punch, and the circle measures 1 centimetre, or gosh, what would that be? 1, 2, 3/8 of an inch. You can use your crocodile if you've got one, or even where did I put that? Yeah, there we go. Or even one of those if you want to. And if you haven't got any of those, you can always freehand cut. But to create the ticket look, what you're going to do is slide each corner into your punch and just punch off a 1/4 corner like that, so you get that shape from your punch. So it's just about 1/4 of the circle in there. So you're going to do that on all 4 corners, and don't worry if they're a bit different, it doesn't really matter. It just adds to the charm of your book. So you'll do that on all 4 corners, and then where we've got our score line, you're going to punch a semicircle, half a circle. So just punch out half a circle like that. Okay, and do exactly the same on the other side, like that. Okay, and you end up with your each page looking like that. So you've got all those corners rounded off and those there as well. If you have an inverted corner rounder, then you can use that, but I haven't got one of those. And you're going to do that to all of your pages. So all 10 of your pages you're going to do like that. Right, let me show you how I cut my 6 by 6 papers. So I'll grab my trimmer. So your patterned papers need to be 3 3/4 by 3 inches. So the easiest way I've found, and bearing in mind that some of your papers are going to possibly be directional. So what you'll do is you'll pop your papers in your trimmer. Let me turn it that way so you can see. And you're going to make your first cut at 3 3/4 inches, like that. That is waste, but it's a nice big piece, so you can use that to decorate or whatever. So once you've done that first cut, turn it and then just cut at 3 inches. Just concentrating on getting that all lined up, and you end up with your 3 3/4 by 3 inch papers going the right way, because we want them to go on our album like that. Yeah, and for it to go on, before we do that, we need to also punch these corners so that they match the album pages as well. So all 4 corners like that, nice and simple. That's one, and then I'm going to do the same with this one. All 4 corners. They do jump and go everywhere, I have to say, but yeah, if you're careful, you can gather them all up. So once you've done that, the next stage is really simple. You're just going to glue it onto your papers. Okay, I've used craft cards, and I did notice with this craft card that one side is quite red and the other side is more of a sort of rougher brown. So all I'm doing is making sure that I've got them the right way. I've already glued on all the mats that I could, so I'm just going to glue this one on now. So this is needed the red side, so there we go. So I can glue this down and just pop it onto the large section of your page, so to the one side of your score mark there, like that, and pop that down. Now I'm having mine so that there's paper on both sides of each page. So because this is the next page in my album, I want the 2 pages to face each other. So I'm just going to glue this one on the other side of that page, like that. Now this isn't an original idea. I did see it last year on another channel, Mimi Crafts. I don't follow her. It's just one of those that kind of popped up on my page. So I will try and find it again. I've written it, I've all in my notebook, and I read Mimi Crafts. So if I find it, I will link it in the description box below. So that's that one done, and then my back page was waiting for my other snowmen. So just want to make sure I've got it the right way up, and I'm just going to glue this one down as well. Now I went ahead and did all of the others because you don't need to watch me glue 20 pieces of paper. Like I say, it's a great way to use up your 6x6 papers, or well, any of your papers really, because you do need, although they're small pieces, there's quite a lot of them in your little album. So then all I need to do is decide which I want for my front and back of the album, and because I've done it facing each other, I can choose. I'm going to stick with the snowmen, I think. So I'm going to bring the snowmen back. So the next stage is then I'll bring in these 2 pieces. Now these are to reinforce and to decorate the front and the back page of your album. So all I need to do is to glue them on here, this bit of the album. The rest of the album won't be seen. So just going to go all the way along like that and glue it in place like that. And I'm going to flip it over and do exactly the same on the other side. To it reinforces the front and the back cover, but it also decorates it and make it look much nicer for you, rather than the very plain pieces that you'd have seen before. Okay, so that's our album almost done. Now I'm using my crocodile. You can use whatever comes to hand, your pokey tool, whatever you want, but I'm going to use my pencil to mark this. I'm going to pop it back in there, and I'm going to come in about an inch. So I'm using by eye, measuring down about halfway, and then I'm going to flip it over and do exactly the same this side. So take my pencil down and about there. So I can pop my scoreboard away, and I'm going to grab my crocodile. Now I'm going to use the biggest side on here. I'm just going to line that up and punch 2 holes in there like that. There we go. And then, because I've got a crocodile, I can go through several layers at a time. I don't think I'm going to go through all of them, so I'm going to split it in half. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to line it up, and using those 2 holes as a guide, I'm going to do some more holes in my album. Don't want it to move, so there's one, and line it up again very carefully. Luckily you've got that little hole there so you can see through it to line it up, and punch those holes in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one, I'm going to pop it on here, and I'm going to draw 2 circles through it like that so I can see them, and then I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. I don't want to risk damaging my cover by punching it yet again. Line up all those pages and line it up with that circle and punch, and exactly the same on this side and punch. There we go. And then I can stack my album. That one goes on there, those goes on there. Stack my album. Let's get rid of all of this like that. And I'm going to use, this is from the Works, I think I'm going to go with the green thread. So I'm going to undo all of that, and oh, there's more sellotape on it there. See if I can find the end. There we go. So I'm going to use that sellotape to wrap around the end so that I can thread it through my album nice and simple. Got my scissors there, so I'm just going to cut that at a little angle so that I can thread it all the way through. So let's push it through there. Might have to be one at a time. I was hoping to go through them all together, but yeah, one at a time is going to be the easiest, isn't it? So keep on threading, keep going. Maybe I can do a couple at a time, or perhaps not. let's keep threading. So I hope you're all ready for Christmas. You've got most of your shopping done and are just starting the countdown with your Christmas crafting. So there's one. Let's see if we can go back the other way. Yeah, I'm almost ready. Still just doing the last bits of Christmas crafting and getting the videos uploaded to YouTube. So hopefully there'll be some more countdown to Christmas videos to come between now and Christmas Eve, as I prepare for the big day. Most of the presents are bought though, thank goodness. I always do buy early because we've got quite a big family. I've got 4 daughters and all the grandchildren, plus my sister and her family, and my husband and his very large family is one of 7. So I do have to prepare nice and early. So there we go. Oh, the fiber's coming off that, goodness me. So I'll pull that through a little bit more. And I'm doing this nice and simple, but I think I would probably start decorating the album, putting some bits on the front, maybe fussy cutting out some snowmen and layering it up on there, maybe putting some tags on here as well to give it a bit more of a look. So that's the album done. So let me give you a quick flick through it. So as you can see, all of those papers, and there's plenty of room to write notes. I can put some plain cardstock on there if I want to put some notes or some journaling on there. Smaller spaces for photos and things. So that's the album done. So let me show you now how we make the box to go with. Very simple box. So you need your scoreboard and your piece of card. Now this piece of card measures 8.5 by 5.5, and all you're going to do is score on the 8-inch side at 4. It can be fine, 4. There's 4. Score at 4 and at 4.5. It's 4.5. There it is, 4.5. Okay. And then you're going to put it back in your scoreboard. This isn't quite going to do it, is it? So let me swap to my other scoreboard. Let's get the Hoogie one out on the inch side. And I need a score tool. There it is. So on the longer side, so popping in there, this is centimetres. What am I doing? So on your inch side, you're going to score at 5 and at half and 1 inch. So score at half and then at 1 inch. So half and 1 inch, and flip it over and score again at half and 1 inch. Flip it round and score again at half and 1 inch. Flip it over, and I do like to double score for that. Okay, I can pop that away now. And all you need to do now is fold on all of those score lines. So I'll use my little folder for this. Make sure you're lining it all up nice and straight. Then your side ones, you want to score again. So 1/2 inch and 1 inch. So there's the 1 inch. And there's the 1/2 inch. Score that and turn it around to the other side. And this card I got from the works in the sale for 50p when they were selling off a lot of their stuff last year. It's been lying flat, but it's got a little bit of a bend on it still. Anyway, there we go. Now I'm going to bring in my scissors. Let's see if I can find them. There they are. And what I want to do is to get rid of all of this until that second score line. So I've got one score line there, another one there. I need to get rid of all of that. So I'm going to come in at my bottom score and go straight across until I meet the 1 inch score line, and then I'm just going to take off all of that. So removing both of those score lines all the way down to that cut that I've just made, and remove that entire corner like that. Okay, and I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. So I'm going to come in, so I've got one, that's my, let me think, that was my 4 inch, that's my 4.5 inch score line. I'm going to cut straight across until I get to my 1 inch score, turn it back, and I'm going to remove that completely all the way down like that. Okay, so that's got rid of that. I do need a circle punch, so this is a 1.5 inch punch. Use whatever you've got to hand, and I'm just going to by eye do a little finger notch there like that. And now I've got my 1/2 inch and my 1 inch lines there. So I'm going to grab some double-sided tape and I'm going to put it down that first line there. So let me just grab it and put it down there like this. This is to hold. I will use, you know what I'm like, I will use wet glue as well. I've cut that at a very slight angle. Personal preference, you can if you want, you don't have to. I just think it's going to make life a little bit easier for me when I glue this all together. So again, to there, I'm going to cut that. I can pop that away now, and I'm going to put a little notch just on that corner there, again just because I think it helps, but you don't have to if you don't want to. It's just the tiniest of notches on there. So I'm now going to pull that back. So let's see if I can get my nails under that. There we go, there's one, and there's the other one, if I can get it. Sometimes they come off really easy, and then other times you have to fight them, don't you? So once I've pulled it off, I'm going to pop a line, just a bead of wet glue either side of that line like that, just because I trust wet glue to hold a little bit more than I trust the tape to hold. And this is a gift, so I do want it to last. So once that's done, I'm going to fold it up and I'm going to join this piece at the corner. So I'm creating a box. So just join those two corners up, that corner and that edge like that. And I'm going to use my scissors just to go in there, and the tape, the double-sided tape, should grab that and it will hold until the wet glue dries. And I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. Pop it in like that, fold it up, and we're creating a little box. Line the edge up with that corner, and there we go. Again, I'm going to use just the back of my scissors so I can get right in that corner. And there we have our little box, which then fits beautifully with our little tag album like that. Now, to decorate it, let me grab my ruler. So this now is 3.5 by 4 inches. So I'm going to grab some paper. Let me see what these are, all my scraps. So no, I'm going to grab another sheet of, where did I put that? Maybe I'm not going to grab another sheet of that. Okay, so I'm going to use this instead then. Fine, I shall use some scraps to decorate it instead. Let me see, now what two can I pop together? So I could put those two on the front. Let me grab my guillotine. What did I say that was? 4 inches. Yeah, 4 inches. So I'm going to cut both of these at 3 3/4. So there's one, 3 3/4. There's the other, and I'm going to overlap them, I think. So let's pop some glue on there. I mean, cut your paper if you want to. I can't find my pad at the moment, so don't know where that's gone. It is here somewhere in this mess that I call a craft room. So I'm just going to overlap that on there. Let's do that. Have that nice and straight, and then that's too big, so I'm going to have to cut it down. What did I say that was? That was 3.5. So let's cut this down to 3.5. What measurement is this? This is almost 4. So I'm going to cut a little slither off this side. I want this side to look balanced, so that's there. So 3.5, so I want 3 1/4. There we go. Whoops. Like that. I'm going to pop it there, and I'm going to just make a mark inside. Where's my pencil gone? Just a mark inside to where that is. So I've just made a mark where that is on there. So let me grab my punch again and punch that out. This is it, crafting on the hoof, implementing. If in doubt, shove a flower or a butterfly on it, is the motto, isn't it? And actually, I think what I'm going to do to continue with the theme, I'm going to punch those corners as well to carry on with that ticket album theme. And let's get my glue and glue that down on here. So I'll leave all the measurements, including the measurements of this piece, which I'd forgotten. I will leave it all in the description box below if you want to have a go yourself. If you do, please do tag me in your photos if you upload them onto YouTube or Instagram or anything like that, because I'd really like to see how you get on with it. I will put the link to, I'm sure it's Mimi's Craft, that's what I've written, Mimi Craft. I'll put a link to her channel if I can find it, also in the description box below. And I'm going to pop that over. I'm going to use my scissors again because I can't find my phone folder. Like I say, the craft room is an absolute mess. So there we go. So that is the basics, and you can decorate that up as much or as little as you want. It's a gift, and it's got room in the box, so there's room in the box to add more photos, mementos from your Christmas. So there we go, tag album and box. Hope you like it, hope you give it a go, and let me know how you get on. Okay guys, I will see you in the next Christmas video. So yeah, take care, speak to you later, bye for now.